And welcome to the Kevin Dunn Show. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, you know we are excited that you've joined us. A special show on tap for you today. If I had a topic to call the show, I would say a football family who loves the Lord. I had a chance to visit a game at Lanett High School, and I saw a father, a mother, and their sons on the sideline. When we come back from the commercial break, I'm going to be introducing to you this special couple.
The Kevin Dunn Show, brought to you in part by Rogers Barbecue, LaGrange, Georgia. Rogers Barbecue in LaGrange has been locally owned and operated since 1945. They have daily lunch specials for only $6.62, and that includes your drink and dessert. Tuesday nights from 5 to close is all-you-can-eat ribs. Thursday, Rogers has all-you-can-eat catfish, which, along with their stew, is famous throughout the region, and they proudly serve only U.S. farm-raised catfish. Dine in or use their convenient drive-thru, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 117 New Franklin Road in LaGrange. Come join the crowd at Rogers Barbecue.
If you've got a big lawn, you need a big-time mower. You need an X-Mark. With an X-Mark, you'll get a better cut faster and a mower that may be the last one you'll ever need to buy. So if you want your lawn to look like a pro maintained it, use what the pros use. X-Mark. Purchase 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand by landscape professionals. For more information, visit your local X-Mark dealer or xmark.com.
Life's dirty, play clean. SOS Cleaners, locally owned and operated in LaGrange with over 54 years of experience, is a full-service dry cleaners, and all cleaning is done on premises using environmentally friendly cleaning processes and practices. SOS Cleaners specializes in shirt laundry, alterations, furs and leather, formals, odor removal, wedding gown preservation, and fire restoration. We have a fully functional drive-through, and same-day service is available upon request. Also, give them a call to find out their weekly specials. Life's dirty, play clean. And welcome back to the Kevin Dunn Show. Our special guest today is couple Clifford Story and Krisse Story. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
I almost called you your maiden name,
Pollard.
but
That's okay.
Like I said, I went to a game at Lanett High School, and I was just watching you. You never know who's watching you and what's going on, but I was intrigued when I saw Coach Story's wife on the sideline helping out with the team, and so I invited them to be a guest on the show, and they have some very powerful things to tell you, the football family who loves the Lord. First of all, tell us how long you guys have been married, Coach Story.
We've been married for 17 years.
17 years? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Now, who did you chase him, Krisse, or did he chase you?
He chased me. I made the initial contact,
but
I had to remain faithful to the scripture. He who finds a good wife finds a wife finds a good thing, so I had to let him do the chasing. But yeah, I made the initial contact.
Okay, all right. Okay, what'd you say about that, girl?
She was running me up.
So both of you guys played a major part in it. Okay. Now, 17 years of marriage. How many kids do you have?
We have three. With each other, and I have 2 before we got married.
Okay, okay, blended family.
Yes.
And you're making that work too as well. That can be another challenge in itself. A lot of people, it's tough for a lot of people to deal with. Coach Story, why do you love, and people say, well, how do you know you love it? I can tell, it's your passion.
Right.
Why do you love being involved with sports?
Well, sports was my outlet. When I grew up, when I was going through things, sport was always my outlet to relieve stress and those kinds of things. And then once I began to play it, I began to get pretty good at it, and then had an opportunity to go and play college football and baseball at Jacksonville State. So I want to be able to share my passion and my testimony to the youth.
Okay.
So they'll understand, regardless of your situation, you can still be successful and you still can make it out. So I just took that and just kept pressing forward, and sports have gotten me to where I am today. Okay. And he didn't tell you he was a star quarterback for the Lafayette Bulldogs back in the day. And Krisse Pollard, who was a Pollard then, she was a star basketball player at Valley High School, where I went to. Now, Krisse, tell us, why do you like being involved in sports so much?
My initial love for sports started as a child. Being able to play sports myself, it gave me, as he said, it gave me an outlet. Being from a single parent home, we needed something to do so that we could stay out of trouble. Growing up in the West Shawmut community, I needed something to do besides hang in the streets. So being able to play basketball growing up, it led me to a college scholarship, and I was able to play in college. Never thought I would have the opportunity to be as involved as I am, but to be able to, I also coach junior high basketball and I coach varsity volleyball. So what the biggest thing that I want to do is help to build character. Okay. I want to help to build people outside of sports. I want to have a winning record that'll come, but my biggest thing is to be able to build character in the girls and the guys now that I have the opportunity to come in contact with. It's important to me because my boys play sports. My brother played sports, so sports has meant a lot to our family.
And that's key she say that, because sports in high school is just 4 years, and you might not go to the college level. Right. You know, what do you do with life after that? So that's key. Now, just in case you didn't know, Coach Story is the head coach of the Lanett High School Football Panthers. And like I told you in the initial beginning, his wife is involved with the team. What role do you play on the Lanett High School football team? My technical term is Aqua Mom. The technical term is Aqua Mom, but I play the role of mom. I have an opportunity to be mom to some guys who, they have moms at home. A lot of them do, but I get an opportunity to be mom on the football field. It gives me great joy to be able to wipe their faces or to bring them water, but just being able to be on the field and be on the sideline with them, because these are the same guys that I see in the community. Okay. The same ones that probably a lot of them went to our daycare, so I'm Miss Krisse to a lot of them. I'm Mama Krisse to a lot of them because they spend a lot of time at our house with our boys because they're around the same age. So just being able to be mom to them, I don't carry that name lightly, Aqua Mom. It means more than just giving them water. For me, it's an opportunity to sow into their lives. Wow. Now, Coach, how does that make you feel to have your wife on the sideline with you? Well, the whole family is on the sideline, but your wife, first of all, because that's...
Well, my wife and I have been going to a marriage conference. It's a coaches outreach conference for about 4 years now, or 5 years. And it's all about coaching and their spouses and how they can come together as a family. And so I had told her in the spring that I was going to get some water girls, and she was saying that was confirmation through her prayer that this opportunity for her to come out there and oversee the girls and also be able to be out there on the field with the guys and be around myself and the boys more. Because having her there, and by the way my schedule is during football season, we don't have an opportunity as a family to spend a lot of time together. So by her being there now, she's in the mix. So she's getting the opportunity to be with us at practice, you know, be with us during the game, eat pregame meal with us, just being able to just have family time away from home. So I mean, it's a joy. So she really have gotten the chance to really see our passion for the game, my passion, the way the boys, you know, interact daily at football practice with their friends. So it's been great.
And like I said, that's what, I won't say floored, that's too strong of a word, but when I saw you over there doing it, I mean, it touched me. It's kind of like, it's giving people, even outside of the kids, I mean, other couples in the stand might be watching y'all, and it gives them hope. So basically, you're saying through prayer, this was the initial, you came up with the concept of playing this role.
Yeah, we had like he said, we had the chance to go to the couples outreach, and all of the wives were saying, well, we do this, we do that, and I just didn't know where my fit was as far as what he does. Through our pastor has given us, Pastor Hodge has given us an opportunity. We facilitate marriage ministry, bond marriage ministry at our church. So my prayer was, God, what can I do to serve my husband? In this capacity. I know what I'm supposed to do at home. I know how to be a mom. I know how to be a wife, but how can I serve my husband on the football field in something else that he's so passionate about? And after he told me about the girls that wanted to, they were water girls. Okay. So after he told me about the girls coming out in the spring, God just showed me that this is the opportunity for me to do what he would have me to do. He opened a door for me to be able to serve him in that capacity. And I thought about the scripture, I think it's 1 Corinthians 3, and he said that, Paul said that I planted, Apollos watered, but God gives the increase. And here was my opportunity to give physical water, but it's happening also in the spirit because I'm able to sow into them. I'm praying over those water bottles. When I'm I'm tapping them on their shoulder pads. What you're probably seeing is good job. But what I'm saying is God continue to bless them, teach them how to be great leaders. So I'm able to water, and I'm expecting God to give the increase, not in victories all the time, not even in going to school to play college, getting scholarships for college football, but to give victories in their lives in 12th grade and 9th grade and on through college, so they can be great fathers and they can be great sons and great brothers. Wow. That's the increase that I'm looking for.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Coach Story, what are some challenges you face as a football family?
As a football, I really don't face a lot of challenges. But what I do face is that coaching my children. I had to learn how to separate from being daddy and being Coach Story, because even at practice, my kids say dad, and I tell them, I say, I'm coach at practice. You know, and it's hard to differentiate the two. But my biggest challenge is for some of the kids to feel like that I'm not showing a lot of favoritism toward my children. And I tell them I treat everybody the same. But it's still hard for a teenager to really understand, because, you know, those are my babies. And I tell them, I got 40 babies out here on this football field. I said, but Trey and Ken, they are my children. I said, but I'm not going to do no more for Trey and Ken out here that I would not do for any of you guys. So they understand that, and they know now that I love them. I do anything I can for them, and I've shown them, you know, by the way I treat them, things that I do for them. And I tell them all the time, it's no 2A program in the state of Alabama get what you guys get. I can assure you of that. So they understand.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're going to pause and take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to present a scenario to Krisse as Coach Story handles Trey. More of the stories when we come back from the commercial break.
Rogers Barbecue in LaGrange has been locally owned and operated since 1945. They have daily lunch specials for only $6.62, and that includes your drink and dessert. Tuesday nights from 5 to close is all-you-can-eat ribs. Thursday, Rogers has all-you-can-eat catfish, which, along with their stew, is famous throughout the region, and they proudly serve only U.S. farm-raised catfish. Dine in or use their convenient drive-thru, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 117 New Franklin Road in LaGrange. Come join the crowd at Rogers Barbecue.
Coldwell Banker Spinks Brown Duran Realtors is the market leader in residential and commercial sales. With over 40 years in the community and 2 offices located in LaGrange and West Point, our knowledgeable and professional sales agents can assist you in both Georgia and Alabama. Whether purchasing or selling a home, commercial property, or land, Coldwell Banker Spinks Brown Duran Realtors is the obvious choice to serve you. View our listings online at www.spinksbrownduran.com and contact us today so we can help with all of your real estate needs.
Welcome to America's Mattress, the area's largest mattress showroom within 50 miles, and it's located right here on the Parkway in LaGrange, Georgia. Here at America's Mattress, we have 7 different iComfort memory foam mattresses on display, 7 different iSeries hybrids on display, 7 different Perfect Sleepers on display, and 17 other models by Serta on display. We also have 6 different adjustable bases on display. America's Mattress carries the Dr. Green that is designed for people with back problems. America's Mattress also carries both mattresses that our Consumer Report recommends as the best innerspring and best memory foam. So for the best mattresses at the lowest prices, shop America's Mattress here in LaGrange, Georgia on the Lafayette Parkway.
And welcome back to the Kevin Dunn Show. We're with the Stories from Lanett High School. Call them a football family who loves the Lord. It's just something personally I came up with. But anyway, Krisse, okay. Their son is the starting quarterback for Lanett High School Panthers, Trey. Okay, Trey has just made a couple of mistakes on the field. He comes to the sideline, and Dad just lays off into him. As a mother, how do you handle that? Being in public and Dad is getting on my baby boy.
That has actually happened a couple of games. First couple of games, he started off a little bit rocky, and he did have some times when he was just not executing the way he should have, and his daddy, he ate him alive, and that's hard to watch. It's hard to watch, but I think it would have been harder to watch from the stands. It's easier to watch because from the sideline and then living in the house with Coach Story, I know that when he disciplines in love. He's just a little bit more aggressive, but he disciplines in love. But that has happened a couple of times this year, and the first time, I was like, Kent, what are you doing? And so the next couple of times, I kind of learned that I have to call Trey to the side and say, Trey, you just keep doing what you're supposed to do. Or what is it that you did wrong? What could you have done differently? You know, it was hard at first, but I'm learning to kind of just stay away from what they're doing and allow him to be coach, because when he comes home, he is daddy. But on the football field, he's Coach Story, and Mama has to step out of the way a lot of times to allow him to be Coach Story.
And I figured that, and that's why I wanted to ask you that, because it's kind of like, you know, giving him his space to be who he needs to be, and which I know he appreciates that wholeheartedly. Now, Coach Story, you touched on this briefly. You said the challenges you have trying not to show favoritism. Do you realize if that's taking place and you pull back, or does your wife tell you, or if that's happening? How do you realize that's happening, or can you realize it's happening?
I don't realize that it's happening.
Okay.
But like I said, you know, as teenagers, you know, I've heard them say little things in the locker room.
Okay.
And so I had to address it, but I just coach. You know, I just coach. I don't cut him any more slack than I cut any of the other kids, because anyone that watch me coach, they can tell you I'm passionate, I'm in the face type guy, but yet instead I don't let you leave, you know, go back out there on the field without putting your arms around me or telling you what you did wrong and patting you on the butt and telling you, hey, I need for you to get this done for me. Okay. You know, and if my son make a mistake, I meet him coming off the sideline and tell him, hey, you the one supposed to do that. Right. So, you know, I know that they're not going to ever play perfect. Okay. But I tell them to strive for perfection. Okay. And so I know if they strive for perfection, then they'll hit their mark more times than they'll miss. Okay. But I mean, it's a joy to coach my son. That's something that I've always wanted to do, but I thought I would never have the opportunity, to be honest with you. Wow. And then I have an 8th grader who back up quarterback and plays defense also. So it's a great deal. I've heard coaches in the past say it's nothing like coaching your children. It's nothing like coaching your children. Because when they was in rec, I would just stand back on the fence and just watch them. Okay. And people would try to get me to interact with them, and I would say, no, you know, you coach them. Exactly. That's good. So now I'm having the chance to be able to interact with them on a daily basis and to watch them grow and mature as football players and athletes. Wow, that's awesome. Now, Krisse, what are some conversations at home when you guys are sitting around the dinner table, Coach Story barbecuing, or you cooking or whatever? What are some of your conversations you have about football at home?
Well, initially, because of the aggression, the passive aggression, passionate aggression that went on at first, I think that was some of our conversation. How could we handle that without the embarrassment that comes along with it for Trey? Okay. So we were able to discuss some of those things, just how we could handle that, and we talk about what they did well. We talk about what they could have done better. Right. What it means to us when they do well. What it means to us when they don't do well. And a lot of times, our conversation, we've gotten to a place where, because I'm on the field more, our conversations can steer away from football so much as a family now, because it happens, because he'll look at me, if something happens on the field, he may go, did you see that? And I can say, yeah, so that eliminates that conversation at home. So just because I'm able to be on the sideline, we've been able to have more family-oriented discussions at the dinner table, because we do eat together almost out of 7 days. We probably are able to have dinner 4 to 5 days a week, which is great for us. But our conversations have kind of been able to steer away from football a little bit at home, because I'm on the sideline and we can talk about it a little bit more on the sideline, which is good for us, because at first, his first couple of years, everything was about football, because he's so passionate about it. He loves it. And our boys do too. So now we've been able to get away from that a little bit. And her first game against Valley, actually was the second game also. You know, I got into Trey pretty good, and when we got home, she started the conversation. Now, you was that wrong, And I said, look, I'm going to put you back in the stand. And so she laughed about it, and then she began to understand her role, and so it all had balanced out now.
That's good. And it's amazing, a couple of comments you guys made, it actually leads into the next question. I want to hear more about that. And the next question was, how do you escape from football? If you need to escape?
What we do is we set times and dates with each other. We make sure that we spend time as a family going out to dinner, have dinner dates and those things, because football used to consume us.
Right.
And so we had to get a median in there to where, okay, regardless of what I got to do, I got to drop this and be a husband and a dad and be able to show my boys what it's like to have a father at home and what it's like to do things as a family, what it's like to pray as a family and those kinds of things. And she helped initiate that because she would tell me, she said, all right, Kent, you know, we got a dinner date at 5 or we got a dinner date at 6 or we taking the boys out at this time. And I would put the scheduling part on her and I just made sure that I followed through with meeting those time frames.
Oh yeah, you know what's best.
Yeah, because on Saturday morning I would get up. We just got home at 11, 12, 1 or 2 in the morning and I would get up and go to the school at 7, 8 and be over there all day. Okay. And she would call me and say, now Kent, you know you need to be getting home. Okay. So, you know, I had to drop what I was doing and set that stuff to the side and leave it there. That was the toughest part of it, just being able to put work down and be able to come home and be the father that I was supposed to be to my family.
Wow, it's interesting that you guys have set parameters and schedules because your life is just that busy.
Yeah.
And that has helped you out, you know, 17 years. Now, do you teach at Lanett High School as well, and you're involved
with a lot at
Lanett High School. Do you see each other a lot during the day?
Not really.
We do not.
Not really.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
Every now and then I ask for lunch and I'll get it, but most days we don't see each other, and it works out well because after once we're done with school, it's family. It's our family time, and when we're at work, we try and give Lanett City Schools what we have and what they're paying us for. But some days we do see each other, but for the most part, we don't.
Okay. Now, your marriage is truly a ministry. Like I said, we're teaching in high school, football, you're involved in that as well. When kids come through and both of you can answer this if you would like, when kids have come through the Lanett program in 4 years, Coach Story, what would you have liked for them to have taken away from your marriage?
That they'll see two people that love each other. They'll see someone that spends time, someone that loves the Lord. Because I take my football players to church. Wow. They'll see a family that have fun, interacting with each other. They'll see somebody that got a lot of passion for being successful, and not necessarily on the college realm, but in life. Because I tell my kids all the time, don't be in Lanett because you have to. Be here because you want to. So you give yourself some options. And we take them to games and different events and functions, and I take them up and down the road to camps and just let them know that that it's bigger things outside of Lanett, and you can be whatever you choose to be. And sometimes it become a cliche to them.
Right,
that's all they hear, and they think, oh, it's no true to it. But I had to let them know, yes, it is true to it. Because, we all had ups and downs in life. I said, but how you handle those adversities is what's going to get you to where you need to be. So I just want them to know that, they got two people in their corner. That gonna fight for them, and I tell them all the time, if you're doing the right thing, I'm not gonna let anyone mistreat you. I'm gonna fight for you.
Yes, sir.
And so they know that. So they'll just see two people that passionate about what they do and passionate about children and kids and want the best for them out of life. Okay.
Now, Krisse, what would you hope that they would take away from your marriage after coming and being in the Lanett system for 4 years?
Pretty much what he said, that they have an example of what a godly marriage looks like, that they have an example of a family that goes through. We're busy. As we said in the beginning, we're a blended family, a family that has learned how to overcome adversities, a family that has learned how to consider others first. But a family who also, we have our issues, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
But after being in our presence, hopefully they've learned how to overcome those situations and just see a family that loves God through the coaches outreach ministry that we've been able to participate in for the last couple of years. It has worked wonders for our marriage and helping to lead us to what we need to be as a coaching couple. It's one thing to be a couple, but to be a coaching couple, wow, it's something totally different when you're coaching, because we have so many lives in our hands. Right. And when I say our, you would think, well, he's the football coach, but I'm married to the football coach. So when whatever he's involved in, I'm involved in. So it's important for me to say our, because we can either have a positive or a negative effect on their lives, and hopefully our goal is to hopefully have a positive effect on them.
And we need to see this in this day and time. And, you know, I thank you guys for coming to be a guest on the show to let people know that even though marriage is tough, even though there are some challenges, even though marriage is fast paced and so many things are going on, it still can work. Now, as far as, I ask Mom this question right here. You say Trey is in the 11th grade?
Right, 11th grade.
And your other son is in the
8th grade.
8th grade. So what do you feel about their dating or anything? I know it's not time for them to date, but when the time comes, how are you looking at that?
Our 11th grader, he started dating.
Okay.
And we keep them close. Like for Valentine's, what we did, we all went out. We asked them, you can ask your friends to go, and we allowed them. And our 8th grader, it's not dating necessarily, but we want them to see this is what you do on a date. This is how you interact on a date. Good. So for Valentine's, that's what we did. We had them to go with us, and we showed them this is what you do. He's very good about opening car doors. I want them to know that is not, chivalry is not dead. It's not dead. We have a 5th grader who's watching. Our youngest son is the water boy. So he's watching his dad, and he's watching his 2 older brothers. So it's important for 6th grade, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. It's important for him to see positive examples of what dating looks like.
Okay. And one last question, and we'll get out of here. And you touched on it, but I wanted you to give closing remarks, just in case there's a couple watching. They're overwhelmed by life. They're overwhelmed by the busyness of life. What would your last parting words be to them? And they may feel like they can't make it right now. What would be your parting words to them?
I will have to say that you need to make sure that you and your spouse communicate with each other. When you're going through, let them know that you're going through. Don't keep everything bottled all up inside of you and not share it with your spouse. Your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. Those are the things that you get on the phone and call your friends about. Those are the things you should discuss with your spouse. You need to make sure that you take time out with each other and pray together, because that was a hard thing for me in the beginning. My wife has always been a prayer warrior, but when she started saying, let's pray together, it made a big difference in our marriage. And just don't give up. You know, continue to hold on to each other and love each other. And when it starts getting bad, that's when you pull each other a little bit closer. And let them know that regardless of the ups and downs in life, that you married them for a reason and for a purpose, and fulfill that plan that God has put you guys together, and know that you can make it.
Wow, that's awesome. Stories, you've been a blessing. I enjoyed you being a guest on the Kevin Dunn Show. One more official handshake. I told them to get their autographs when we get off set as well. I'd like to say thank you once again. I know our audience have been blessed by your presence.
Thank you.
And once again, if there's a topic that you would like to see discussed on the Kevin Dunn Show, please email us at thekevindunnshow@wjcntv.com. Thank you so much for watching.